The John Lebang Show has been known to make people laugh, sing, think, scream, throw things in rage, and generally lose their minds. Listener discretion is advised.
Worldwide and out to the greater universe, you're listening to the John Lebang Show.
Greetings, Earthlings, and alert the media. The banger is back on the microphone. Revved up and ready to go as we start a new era here on the John Lebang Show. Less Obama, and now we talk Trump. Although, we're not going to let you forget about Obama. No, we're not. We're going to talk about all the things that he left for us to deal with in this new era here in the United States under the President Donald Trump, which a lot of people are having a little bit of problem with, having President Trump in charge, and we'll see how that all turns out. He's been working. That's a good sign. Hopefully, as time goes on, we'll see things getting better here in the United States. But if they don't, if Donald Trump doesn't follow the course, and if he strays, and if he goes off into the left-wing Zoom category there with the rest of the lefties, then we're going to make sure to keep him in line, and we're going to be on him like flies on turd. That's what we're going to do. Because unlike the mainstream media that cheered and hurrayed and just did whatever President Obama wanted them to do, they covered him the way he wanted them. They made sure that nothing bad looked upon Obama. We're not going to allow that stuff to happen with Trump. See, if he's not going to stay in line, if he's going to go off course, we're going to be on him, folks, because we don't want another fake president. We don't want just another empty suit. We want somebody to go up there in Washington and clean up the mess that has been piling up for years. There's a pile of crap all the way to the moon, and although I don't think Donald Trump will be able to knock it all out, let's hope he can knock out some of the chunks of this. Let's hope he is his own man. Let's hope he can get some stuff done. And I'm not talking about the executive actions he's talking about. I don't want executive actions. Now, if he's going to do executive actions to where he's going to eliminate all of Obama's executive actions and then put in an executive action saying no more executive actions, I'm good with that. But I don't think that's going to happen. And then we're going to hear the left-wingers complain about this, that he's using executive actions to do things. Well, then you should have said something when President Barry was doing it, because you would be more credible in your complaints. See, again, us in the alternative media are not going to allow Donald Trump to play us. If he is going to go off course, if he is going to follow we'll say the New World Order, if he's going to still be or still continue the establishment agenda, then you can be rest assured that us here in the alternative media are going to be on him, and there's going to be no stopping him or us, because we're not going to put up with it. We're not the lamestream media. We're not the fake news. We bring you hard-hitting information weekly, daily. Depends on who you're listening to. Some channels can get out more to others than some of us can, but we're all moving this alternative media in the right direction. It's a direction of showing that we have some credibility. And they're going to talk, well, no, you guys have a bunch of conspiracy nuts. What's more conspiratorial than the things the Democrats have been talking about? The Russians hacking the election, when there seems to be no direct proof that it's happening. All the emails that were hacked and released by WikiLeaks, Julian Assange is saying it's not the Russians. And in fact, there's evidence suggesting, I should say, that it was elements within our own intelligence agencies that were leaking the information out. And that makes sense, right? What is his name? Bradley. You just pardoned him, didn't you, President Obama? Those documents released by Manning there were released to WikiLeaks, and they came from within the government. So what's more likely, ladies and gentlemen? Was it the Russians hacking in to our servers, to all our computers, and then releasing it to WikiLeaks? Or was it somebody within the government who didn't need to hack, who had access to it, read it, and then disseminated it because they didn't like what they saw in there? Same with Edward Snowden. So we'll see, folks. We'll see what the future holds for us. It should be very interesting. We had the disruptors out there. We had the bikers out there during the inauguration. The things that are coming down since then. People are lamenting that Obama had the worst legislative record in history. You know, that might be one of his good points. The people lamenting this in the Washington Times, that Obama had one of the worst legislative records in history. That might have been one of his good points, because unlike the socialists out there, I understand what the Constitution created. It made a government that could not work very easily. It's not supposed to get things done. They have made it too easy to get things done, and that's why we are regulated up the wazoo. That's why we're paying taxes through the nose. That's why everything's against the law, except criminal behavior now. Because you can be pardoned by the president. You can be a terrorist and be pardoned by the president on the way out. You know, Donald, if you're going to do anything with the executive orders, why don't you make an executive order saying you can't pardon anybody in the last month of your presidency? That would be great. In fact, the way Obama's been going, I wish we could stop these presidents from doing anything the last 2 or 3 months. Once the election's over, they're done. They're just a figurehead. Their job is to move the hell out. If you're moving out of the White House, clean up the White House, get in there and vacuum and scrub everything. Make everything pretty for the next guy, and then get out. That's what your job is from the election on. That's what I'd like to see, a law put in place for that. But here the Washington Times is lamenting that Obama had a poor record, that not many things got done. Well, more things got done this year, but overall, not much got done during the Obama administration. A lot got done during the Obama administration. Way too much got done, and too much gets done in government. That's the problem. When more things get done in government, more rights get taken away from the people. So when people are whining, like the Washington Times is, that Obama didn't get much done in his presidency, I'm saying that was a positive. That was a good thing. That's exactly how our government is supposed to work. We're not supposed to get things done, because every time the people up in Congress and the president, they go all work together, we get screwed. Obamacare is a very nice example of that. Boy, would I like to see that thing repealed and not replaced. Just thrown out the window. But we're going to get some sort of replacement for it. Mr. Trump, as long as there's not a mandate saying I have to have it, I have to buy a private product, then you can do whatever you want. As long as I'm not mandated to do it, then you can do whatever you want on that Obamacare. Get rid of it. As long as I don't have to pay towards it, as long as I don't get penalized for not having it, as long as I can do what I want. And if I want to avoid the whole damn thing, I can do that, then whatever. But if you're going to force me to do it just like Obama did, you're going to hear some complaints out of me. And we're not going to let the Republicans be the empty suits they always are. We're going to work on these guys, and we're going to make sure that the things that were put in place are gotten rid of. We want less government. Less government. When I heard Donald Trump was going to get rid of, I think it was said 20% of the federal workforce, I was like, yes, get rid of those guys. You can take that money and put it towards real things like roads, like how about back in my pocket? Reduce the taxes a little bit. I'd be great with that. Hopefully we can get rid of Obamacare in one fell swoop, just gone. Get rid of the mandate. That's the important thing right there. Seal up the borders a little bit. I'm not opposed to that. Not at all. I'd like to find a way to get more people working. And in fact, what I would like to encourage, and we're going to talk about this as we're going on, because I just started a new business. I just started a new venture. And we're going to talk about it as it progresses, and I'm going to try to help people start their own business. But I've got to do it first, and I've got to make sure I do it right before I can give advice to other people. So that's what we're going to do, some planning on that. Well, stay tuned to YouTube for that one, because I think we're going to document the entire process of starting a business from scratch, going out and getting clients, servicing the clients, showing the finished product, the before and afters, and then showing what kind of profits we're going to make. And I'm hopefully that will encourage more people to start their own business and stop this working for corporations, which is another problem we got to fix in this country. The corporations having too much power over the individual. We're going to work on that as well. There's a grand scheme of things we're going to talk about on this show this year, and a lot of it is going to be revolving around solving problems for ourselves here, hacking life a little bit, getting through the malaise that is always in our way. So anyways, there's the music, folks. So that means I got to take a break. Please check out our sponsors. They support us. And if you support them, then we can keep bringing you this quality broadcast.
Don't touch that dial. The John Lebang Show will be right back.
You can bet on it, man.
Powerful, epic music by Toothbox Row. Life-changing lyrics come in every style, empowering humanity to finally unlock the chains of bondage. Experience the edgy side of positive music and rock your world today. From Primal to Divine, available now at sassyalternativemusic.com.
Ladies, it doesn't matter if it's morning, noon, or night. Whether you've worked all day or you just woke up. If you've got the thirst, just wet your lips on a BJ. BJ Beer, brewed right here in the great state of Michigan. Who wants a BJ? You're listening to the John Lebang Show.
Join the radio revolution right here.
It's better than some good Thai stick, man.
Yes, I would like some too. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this week's second segment. In our first hour, as we're expanding things, as you've noticed, if you've gone to the website, you can now catch a lot of this stuff on video feed, and you can actually see what we're talking about or see me talking about these subjects, let alone just listening to it on the radio. So that's a good thing. I wanted to discuss, because this, of course, was a recent happening, the Donald Trump inauguration. I believe a lot of people paid attention to this one, being that this was one of the most controversial presidential races in the history of the country, and that there's a group of people who, if you minus the paid ones, there's a group of people very disgusted with the outcome of the election. There's a lot of people who are actually thrilled with the outcome of the election. It's almost the exact opposite as when Barack Hussein Obama won. So the country has shifted back, for lack of better terms, to the right, even though I do not believe there is an actual right wing in this country. Not one that their prime doctrine is individual liberty and freedom, anyways. But the inauguration was an amazing thing to watch. If you were a Donald Trump fan, you're a bigger fan of Donald Trump now. If you were on the fence about Donald Trump, you feel a little bit better about Donald Trump now. If you're a huge Obama or Hillary supporter, or you're a big-time left-wing person, then you're probably even crying more than you were running up to the election. You're just falling apart now because Donald Trump is the president of the United States. And it's funny to watch the people freak out about it. But the speech itself was an incredible speech. If you take out who was saying it and you listen to the speech, he was speaking not about Donald Trump, but he was speaking about we the people. And you, the people, and this is your victory, and this is your day, and we're giving the government back to the people. And if you, like I said, if you were a pro-Donald Trump fan, man, you're ecstatic over how that speech went. The best part of the speech, and there were a lot of highlights in my eyes, but the best part of the speech was the entire thing, because the entire speech eviscerated, demolished, destroyed everything that the Obama administration and the Bush administration had colluded and built. Donald Trump destroyed all that. And it was an amazing thing to watch. And if you were watching the video, you could see Barry over there clenching his teeth. Michelle Obama, I swear she could have jumped out of her skin and had a satanic conniption. It must have really killed them to be there. Because Donald Trump was very gracious in how he dealt with President Obama directly. And as well, Hillary Clinton. But as he was doing that, he was eviscerating, destroying everything that they had built. In his speech, he was ripping it to shreds. And I enjoyed the entire speech. I was just thinking to myself, because I was out on a delivery at my day job, so I didn't actually get to see the visual reactions to the speech until later when I watched the actual speech on a replay. And just listening to it, it was like rah, rah, rah. He knew how to play the crowd. And he played the American people pretty well during the election. He is an entertainer. He knows how to manipulate people. He knows how to negotiate things in his favor. Then he went right to work. Right after the inauguration, The part in the speech where he talked about getting people off welfare and getting them a job, that was an amazing part of the speech. Again, that for someone like me who is paid into the system to the point of almost being broke from it because they take so much money from me. It's nice to hear those things that maybe we'll stop paying for people to sit home and we'll actually give them a job to build a road or something, because not only will that help the economy out and will help them out individually, but I'll get a new road out of the deal. The other way, I'm not getting any road out of the deal. I'm not getting anything new. If we're going to get taxed for it, at least give me something new and nice. I mean, I did get a road, but we're going to call the road I live on the Obama road because it's already fracturing at the foundation. Took less than 6 months and it was crumbling. Trump, everything he builds, it looks like it stands and it stays there. So, not to sound like I'm a big pro-Trump fan, I'm not. And I have some problems with the stuff he's already done. The first thing he does is he goes in there and signs executive orders. And I hate executive orders. And this is bothering me because I'm not hearing much from the alternative media on these executive orders. Yes, the executive orders were an actual, when you think about it, they weren't too bad as far as like easing the burden of Obamacare and everything. But the fact that he's going right in and doing the executive order thing as the first thing, we're going to see tons of executive orders out of this guy. And that's not how we need the country to run. So the people out there who are big Trump fans and who are not happy that Obama's writing executive orders, you've got to hold Trump accountable. We can't let Donald Trump just go ahead and do the things that Obama did. It's up to us. This is really, I told you this after the election. This is up to us to keep him in line. The real work now begins. If we don't keep Donald Trump on the straight and narrow, he's going to veer off and go into some direction we don't want him to go, and we can't have that. The American people elected him to drain the swamp, to clear it out. This is what kills me. This is another thing. I know he's a gracious fella and he's doing this publicly. It looks really gracious. But to give Hillary Clinton some kind of standing ovation at that little luncheon they did drives me berserk. Not only does she not need a standing ovation, she doesn't deserve that. She should be in prison. But we have to understand they were friends before all this happened. I'm telling you folks, if we don't keep Donald Trump on the straight and narrow, and we've got to start now, right at the beginning, no more executive orders, done. You want to get Obamacare fixed? Don't do it through executive orders. Push Congress and have us push Congress with you. We'll get behind you if it's a just cause. We will get behind you, Mr. Trump. Don't be doing these executive orders. Lay out your plan, tell the American people the plan, and then send us out to make sure the congressmen and the senators actually get that crap done, if it's something to help America. If it's talking about repealing Obamacare, don't do things through executive orders. Get out there and state the case. The people will push it for you. It was the American people who got you elected. The tax-paying American people. They got you elected. Listen to us, Mr. Trump. We don't want executive orders. We want you to go through the proper channels. Let Congress write the laws, make sure it's a good law, sign it into law. If it's a bad law, veto that sucker out of there. We want less taxes. We want to not be infiltrated by the enemy. We want Obamacare out of here. We want to have control of our own schools instead of some kind of federal bureaucracy. We want to be able to invest our money, and if we want to pull out of Social Security or if we want to pull out of some other federal program, we're allowed to do that. We don't want to pay for foreign governments, anything in a foreign government. We don't want war with Russia. Anyways, you hear the music going, folks. I could go on all day about this. There's so much to talk about. I could do 14 hours this week, maybe 15 hours, I don't know. But we're going to get through it all in 2 hours, and if that's not enough, you can always catch me on YouTube.
Don't go anywhere. The John Lebang Show will be right back. Don't be a fool. You know, if you're getting married soon and you need good entertainment, you need to contact John Lebang. He's got 30 years of experience of wedding entertainment under his belt, and there is no one better and no one cheaper. He's running a special to the end of the year, $500 for your wedding if you book now. Contact John Lebang by email at jlebang@live.com or go to his website. That's www.jlebang.com.
Fans, do you need a video for your brand new song but don't have a lot of money? Then contact John Lebang. His reasonable rates, professional look, and fast turnarounds will help get that song off the ground. Contact him at jlebang.com.
And I'd like to welcome our new sponsor, Pane in the Glass, commercial and residential window cleaning. For a beautiful, sparkling shine that's crystal clear, call Pane in the Glass Window Cleaning. You can find them on Facebook at Pane in the Glass.
Hey, man, it's at the bottom of the hour, man. Do you know where your kids are, man?
Forces of darkness, the treasonable minds who collaborate must, can, and will be wiped from the face of the earth.
Take a good look, folks. Take a good look at what's going around. Have you seen the outstanding worse Project Veritas did again? Exposing those little lefties again. Those little lefties plotting to spill acid on people. I mean, pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to get full-blown. You're going to get the extreme. You're going to get the main stage of the socialist, democratic Nazi coming out. They're going to be out in full force. They're going to be showing exactly who they are. There's going to be no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're going to be able to tell who these people are. And I want you to remember this. I want people to remember how the left-wing socialists acted coming up to the inauguration and beyond. You're telling me they're doing stuff like plotting things to disrupt, not to disrupt it in a manner to stop some traffic, but no, to actually hurt people. Hurt people. That's interesting, isn't it? Those are terrorist activities. These are the little Bill Ayers of the future. They want to be the next Bill Ayer. But it shouldn't surprise anybody, ladies and gentlemen. These are who the Democratic Party is, who they align with. Disruptors, chaos causers, terrorists. Throughout history, socialists have used forms of terrorism to their advantage. It's no different today. It's the exact same thing. We're getting a display of it running right up until the inauguration. And then you get all the cowards who are backing out. They don't want to be part of it. I know why they don't want to be part of it. because they know something bad might happen at the inauguration, if not before. Because you can't trust left-wing socialists. Socialists claim they want peace, but when they don't get their way, they'll destroy, they'll ruin, they'll injure, they'll maim. That's their gig. It's always been their gig. They always preach peace, kindness, and love. That's because they want you to be subservient to their will. They are never nice, peaceful, calm when they don't get their way, are they? They go right out and complain about it. We didn't get our way. Little children. That pretty much sums up the Democrat socialist anyways. They're a little child. They don't want to grow up. That's why they want the socialist network to hold them up. You know, that little safety net there. They want it because they aren't, mature enough to be an adult. So they need government programs to help take care of them. And now they're all worried that because Donald Trump is going to be inaugurated and he's going to be a president, that their goodies might go away. For some reason, they claim he's a racist. Except all the racism I hear is on the left. Who do you hear people talking about race all the time? It's people on the left. Race this, race that, race this, race that. So the Democrat socialists, their little commie buddies, the little brown shirts are all going to be out there to disrupt things right up into the inauguration. And I wonder how much this is costing in extra security for the United States. How much extra security, because they cannot have a peaceful transition. They never wanted a peaceful transition because socialists, if they don't get their way, they try to force it on you. That's all socialism is, really. It's force. You're forced to do this. You're forced to pay that. Some people get the goodies. The people who, support the party that wants all the goodies. I'm just hoping something big doesn't happen. Something so big that it disrupts the whole thing. I would like a nice smooth transition right into Donald Trump's presidency, and then let's see what he does. And I don't understand what these little communists, these little socialists, the one, what's his one name, the guy up at there, the congressman or senator or whatever, all upset he's not going to be at the inauguration. Good, we don't want you. Good, more room for people who want to be part of this. I was never a huge Donald Trump supporter, and the more these idiots act the way they do, the more you're going to make me side with them, dude. You guys are buffoons. You're little babies, little crying children. How come you didn't move out of the country? How many of these people were saying were going to move out of the country? Then do it already. Stop your bitching and moaning and get the hell out. But that's the norm from the people in the Democrat Party. They always align themselves with those kind of people. The Democrat Party aligns themselves with the lowest of the low. That's what happens. They'll defend what they say are people who have been victimized by the system, but maybe the system hasn't victimized them. Maybe they were victimizing the system, And that's why they're in the position they're at. See, the people on the left twist things around. They're like that girlfriend or that boyfriend you had back in the day that would project all their things on you. If they were cheating on you, they would accuse you of cheating on them. That's the Democrat Party. That's a Democrat. The Republicans get a little less of that. It's like Democrat light in the Republican Party. We get an alpha male. That's the real problem, is that there's an alpha male going to be in the White House. We've had beta males since at least the last 3 presidents. And America is, these feminists, these left-wing lunatics, these socialists do not know how to deal with an alpha male. It's out of the question. It's like foreign to them. They don't even understand it. I'd like to know what Barack Obama has done in the last month, and let's tally that up with Donald Trump. Things that they've done for the country in the last month. That was positive. Those executive orders he just signed, all those what they call those policy documents there he just signed. Ooh, that was real good, right? Mm-hmm. Those policy documents going over there over the UN and with the climate crap, right? None of that's good for the country. And we have a whole host of people on the left that are afraid of what Donald Trump represents and what he's going to do. But I'm telling you what, this is your fault, Democrats. You gave Donald Trump all the power he's going to use because you let Barack Hussein Obama do whatever he wanted to do. You allowed him to write executive orders, and you didn't say a word. You let him dictate things, and you let him change how we did things in this country, and you didn't say a word. You let him use the largest intelligence apparatus against you, and you didn't say a word. Now that Donald Trump has it, you're worried. Well, you should be worried, but you should have been worried when Barack Obama was doing it. You moron, you nitwit. It's a little late to worry about it now when it's in the hands of somebody else. Would you think the Democrat Party was going to rule the country forever? Were you that shallow? The country has this ebb and flow between the two political parties. If you study it, it's been pretty, it's more predictable than climate is. And yet, you guys let Barack Hussein Obama do whatever he wanted. You didn't say a word, and now Donald Trump has all that exact power at his fingertips. We're going to hear it. If Donald Trump raises the debt at all, we're going to hear the whiny Democrats whining, oh, he's raising the debt, even though they let Barack Obama send it through the roof. He's going to try to repeal and replace Obamacare. And the Democrats are going to cry about that, even though Obamacare has been a total garbage dump. You allowed Barack Obama to bomb numerous countries and, use our forces in countries we weren't supposed to be in. You let him do that and you didn't say much. In fact, you praised him a couple times. You said nothing when they were funding terrorists that turned out to be ISIS. You didn't say a damn word. Now you're all worried that Donald Trump is going to do something bad. Why do you care? You didn't care when Barack Hussein Obama was doing it? What does it matter, you little whiny twit? Get a grip with yourself, all right? Go back to your little welfare check. Go sit at home, watch your little whatever TV, Judge Judy or whatever's on TV, eat your bonbons and shut the hell up. There's a few of us that would like the peaceful transition so then we can make sure that Donald Trump does what he says he was going to do. So some of us can keep him in line. Unlike the left there, the people who were behind Donald Trump and the people who were on the fence but didn't like Hillary, we're going to keep Donald Trump in line, unlike you on the left who can't do anything about your candidates. You just let them do whatever they want and the hell with it because you think you're going to rule forever. It's the Democrat Party that has exacerbated the racial issue. They've exacerbated the debt. They've ruined this country. And of course, the Republican Party had its own hand in that. Record number of people not working, looking for a job, and then they gave up because they can't find it. There's a lot to be proud of, you Democrats. And there's a lot to be angry about because maybe we can change all that. Possibly we can change all that crappiness and that actually show that America can do something in the positive. It'll look freaking good. And you're upset about that. Oh, it's going to ruin the welfare state. Oh, no. You guys kill me. But it doesn't matter. You guys can continue to be little babies. You guys can continue to act a fool. But it's going to be people like myself and people with much larger audience that we're going to keep Donald Trump in line for you instead of you whining and complaining and moaning and really just opposing him because you have nothing else better to do. You don't know jack squat about anything. It'll be us keeping him in line because he's probably going to do things that are more in your favor, you lefties, and you don't even know this because he has said on more than one occasion that he was a Democrat. And socially, he is a Democrat. But no, just because he's got that R next to his name, it's a bad thing. Don't worry, we'll keep Donald Trump in line the best we can. We try to keep Hussein Obama in line. But because you guys didn't help us, you guys didn't do anything about your own candidate, wasn't much we could do. He was going to ignore us the whole time. And now that he's put the country in the shit, down the toilet, you're all worried it's going to get better?
Don't touch that dial. The John Lebang Show will be right back.
You can bet on it, man.
Hello. Are you a single lady who really wants to remain independent, but still wants the security of having a man do all the hard and nasty things you need? Then call Hubby for Hire. We're in the business of servicing you, and there's nothing we won't do. If it's just something simple as taking care of your kitty cat, or something a bit more difficult like cleaning the cobwebs that have been building up for years, it doesn't matter. Our trained professionals have the right tools for the job. Just look us up on Facebook. That's Hubby for Hire. We can fix anything. Guaranteed.
Hey, man, not a lot of people know, but after smoking a bong all day, man, I have a hard time getting an erection. Sometimes it's so limp, man, so I thought to myself, I might have that erectile dysfunction thing, man. So I called the Pen 15 Club, man. They provided me with hours of stimulation, man, with their professional massage techniques, man, and their oral support is way better than any Thai stick, man. The Pen 15 Club did the right thing for me, man. So if you're tired of having your buzz killed, man, and want some help, call the Pen 15 Club, man. They can help you.
If you want to contact the John Lebang Show, feel free to send an email to jlebang@live.com. And if you're on Twitter, look him up at John Lebang. And don't forget to go to his Facebook page at The John Lebang Show. Banger. Now here's John.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As we are running down the last segment here in the first hour this week, I'd just like to touch on a few local stories and a couple other little tidbits as we are winding things down. First of all, we have some strange ones here, folks. And in Detroit, there's just we're filled with crackheads and whack jobs and a lot of nut jobs around here. And our news agencies are just as crazy. Check this story out. 17-year-old female charged with a knife point rape of a 19-year-old man. Picture that, ladies and gentlemen. The 17-year-old Saginaw woman could be facing life in prison on charges that she raped a 19-year-old man at knife point. The charges stem from January 11th incident in Saginaw Township where this lady allegedly held a Saginaw man at knife point and engaged in oral and vaginal sex with him.
Are you really enjoying that?
Nah, needs garlic.
She's being denied bond and being held in the Saginaw County Jail. So you're telling me, she's not a pretty woman, by the way. I'll put her picture back here so you can see it. If you're on YouTube, you'll be able to see the segment back here right behind me. She's not a pretty woman, but you're telling me a 19-year-old man cannot fend off a 17-year-old woman with a knife? You know what? This smells. I'm sorry. She engaged in oral sex with him, so she gave him a blowjob. And then she rode the baloney pony, we'll just say. She gave him a blowjob at knife point. I mean, I gotta have some coffee. Hang on a minute. I actually probably need something stronger after that one. So this guy who was raped by a woman that was 2 years younger than him, she had a knife. It doesn't say how big the knife was.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
Hopefully, if he was, I mean, I'm just saying, if you don't want to have sex with this girl and you're accusing her of rape and she's going to spend life in prison, that better be a big knife. I'm just saying, she better come at you with the Crocodile Dundee kind of knife. I'm just saying. How does this happen? So she walks down the road and she's like, "Hey, come here. What you want? You're going to let me suck your or I'm going to kill you." I mean, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? It's just the whole story's just, and she's going to jail over it. Fine. She's 17. She's going to be tried as an adult. But I want to address the young man who took that from her. Dude, if you didn't want to do it, you should have been a man. She's a woman. Were you smaller than her? Were you some peewee guy? She's raping you. I mean, she must not have been disappointed. Know what I'm saying? So after he lets her ride the pony baloney, after she deep throats him for a while, he goes and calls the cops, apparently. How do you have that conversation with the cops? Yeah, I just got raped by some chick. She gave me a blowjob and she rode my baloney pony, and she did it all at knife point. You know, we did a story, the women in Africa, the little voodoo women in Africa. Maybe that's what this chick was. I don't know. Maybe she was doing some voodoo stuff. But the women in Africa, they use the rattlesnake to hold guys at sex point. Sex point, right? That's what we're going to call it. Holding them all at sex point. And they used a snake to scare men into having sex with them because they wanted to harvest their semen. Maybe that's all she wanted to do is harvest some semen. She's not pretty at all, so it's possible that, you know, nobody wanted to sleep with her. Somebody wanted to sleep with her. Guys, you know it and I know it. Ladies, you as well know it, that there ain't one woman on the planet that probably doesn't have a chance to sleep with some guy. Some guy is willing to bang you. She must have liked this guy. That's what I'm thinking. But you can't say that, like, every guy doesn't have the chance to get laid. We just talked about the Mohammed guy last week. He had the bionic schmeckle. He doesn't even want to sleep with women anymore. You know, he's got the 8-inch bionic schmeckle. He wants to sleep with a robot. We have a 17-year-old chick raping a 19-year-old guy at knife point. We've got people in Africa harvesting semen from guys at snake point. How long do you think it's going to take before the human race just wipes itself out? There's just not enough smart people to keep the human race going that long. And since we subsidize stupid, since we subsidize the immoral and the idiocy and the retardedness and the jackassery, we're going to end up with a world filled with them instead of people with brains. How can a 17-year-old girl not have, you know, I mean, did she like the guy? I really would like to have an interview with this woman and try to find out what was in her brain. Like, why would you try to rape him? I'm sure you can get sex anywhere. Obviously, she wanted sex with the guy. Now, we're going to find out. How much you want to bet we find out she gets pregnant from all this? What if he's like some future basketball player? You know, he's in college or something. The news report doesn't give a very thorough dossier on the entire subject, so I can't help you there. But apparently some 17-year-old girl raped a 19-year-old young man. The young man is such a wimp that he couldn't fight off the woman. If he didn't want it, so, you know, if you're going to get raped, right, don't you fight it? Don't you try to fight it? At least a little bit. I don't know. Maybe that's the subject we need to talk about in the future. Maybe we'll try to find some kind of expert on the subject and we can bring them in here and they can enlighten us on the how to deal with the situation of being raped by a 17-year-old girl when you're a 19-year-old man. So, all right, folks, I think I've burned that one out of them. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Should this girl go to jail for raping this man? Why should she rape anybody? Answer that question. Isn't it true that there's always somebody who wants to sleep with a woman? Any woman? Any woman can get somebody to sleep with them. It may not be the person they want per se, but somebody always wants to bang a chick. Doesn't matter who the chick is. Doesn't go the other way around, but, you know, we're not talking about that.
You're listening to the John LeBang Show.
It's better than some Thai stick, man.
Yes, and I bet you're loving it.
Hey, pass that over.
All right, folks. Now that Obama's gone, thought I'd discuss something that he was recently doing, and that's the fact that he was pardoning some people on his way out, like most presidents do. And this time he added in the Z Manning. Bradley, Chelsea, whatever, Manning. He pardoned them. He didn't pardon Edward Snowden. He didn't pardon Edward Snowden, but he pardoned Manning. And I'm wondering if you all found that a curious pardon. And I'm wondering if you might be able to decipher why he did such a thing. Because I think I have a theory. A good theory, I should say, on why he pardoned Manning and not Snowden. I'm going to let you think about it for a little while as I run through a little setup here. We'll call it story time. We'll borrow from Monty a little bit. Let's say there's these two people who had access to government secrets. Both of them released the secrets when they weren't supposed to be releasing the secrets. Both of them then became wanted by the government. One ended up in a foreign country. The other one ended up in prison. With the current administration still hunting the one that was in a foreign country, they set their sights on another agenda of theirs. And that was the agenda of allowing people to go into whichever bathroom they wanted, because they wanted people to feel gender equality. And since the administration, that is, had one of these people, the other one's on the run in a foreign country, they went to the person they had in custody, in prison, and they offered him a little deal. Listen, you change your name, you start dressing like a woman, you declare yourself a transgender, and at the end of our term, we'll pardon you. Because we need more people to see that transgenderism is just fine. And since it is our agenda, if you do this for us, we'll pardon you. Do you think that possibly could have happened with Mr. or Mrs. or Z Manning? Pardon me. Is that why he got pardoned? Because there was a deal in place. You jump on the agenda. You do what we want you to do, and then we'll pardon you. What do you think? And that's it, ladies and gentlemen, for yet another 60 minutes.
Gone in the blink of an hour.
Boom! And we're done. And I still got a ton of things to talk about. So don't worry, there's a second hour coming. Check your local listings for times and days. Don't forget to go to my website. That's www.jlebang.com. Thank you all for listening, and thank you to all the affiliate stations out there. And until the vibrations of my vocal cords reach your ears again, I'm John Lebang, signing off from the Banger Studios.
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff. Tune in again next week. Same time, same space, same station.